Alright, hello and welcome back. This is the Siberian here, and we have another campaign battle replay. This is from our multiplayer campaign, the War of Spanish Succession that has been ongoing. And yeah, before we dive too much in, this is a nice large 3v3. It would have been a 4v3, as that's the type of armies that were there, but I wasn't able to play. We're having a weird internet issue, so ends up combining two smaller armies into one large Prussian army to make up for it. So, but without further ado, I'm going to jump us right into the campaign little intro, and then we'll get into the battle. April 1701. News of victory in Bavaria sweeps through Munich, Paris, and Madrid, stirring patriotic fervor. After an extended period of ill tidings, French and Spanish troops in Brussels are now eager to repeat the Franco-Bavarian success of the Battle of Nuremberg, this time taking the fight to the Dutch Republic. The French First and Fourth Armies marched towards Amsterdam, accompanied by the Spanish First Army. The Dutch, together with their allies from the Germanic states, plan a counterattack, seeking a decisive engagement in the lowlands. The Battle of Reusel Creek begins. Alright, so there we have the situation of the battle. So as you can see, the French and Spanish alliance is pushing up on the attack, and initially only this Dutch army is there to defend, but a Prussian force, which is representing Prussia and Hanover, is back there just starting to move forward now, and another Dutch army that was stationed in the capital will be starting to move forward soon. And they will be trying to hold on to the majority of the capture points. So this is worth 1 point. This is worth 1 point. This is worth 2 points. And then this is a 1 point and a 1 point. So this central point is going to be probably the most contested. But each of these can also swing the balance. If you can capture multiple single pointers, that can still be very useful. Got some cannon shots into the still organizing Dutch. This Lancer Guard having trouble getting around the town here. Ooh. There's a howitzer here under fire. That would have been a big loss if that had taken a hit early, but I think it's hidden at this point. The Dutch troops are probably mostly hidden. Meanwhile, a Prussian force, so some Prussians were allowed to go earlier. They are, come on, dismiss that. They are moving up their cav and artillery onto this hill, spotting a Spanish troops, and looks like the second Dutch army is now on the move as well. Ooh, and we got our first gunfight. Ooh, that was some good artillery. Some French Republicans. Doesn't make sense at this time period because it's early time period, but who cares? I hear charging. Where am I hearing charging? Oh, maybe the big cav battle over here, as French Grenadier à Cheval de la Garde are taking on some hussars and absolutely wrecking them. As makes sense. Heavy cav unit chewing through some hussars, and those hussars break. You know what? Let's see if I can change this up without messing up the camera. Yeah. There we go. Hopefully we get more nice musket sounds. So the French here are making a good push. They have secured this central farmhouse, so they have 2 points here, and then 3, and then 4. So they have 4 points. They're in the lead, 4 out of 6. But these thick units are taking some heavy artillery losses. Look at that. Oof. The Dutch hold this one securely, this one not as securely, but they do have troops in the house. Lancer Guard going in, getting some good trample damage in. Might even got some friendly fire shots. The Lancer Guard took pretty bad casualties overall. That's an unfortunate situation. The howitzer here, this is a dangerous. Ooh, that's a loud scream. These howitzers can do a lot of damage. I don't know, howitzers are very hit or miss. Russian artillery, hammering away. Oof. What is this? French 6-pounders here as well. Wow, these Spanish Free Company of Catalonia have advanced very far forward and are very exposed to some cavalry. Also, this is the creek that is the battle's named after, and it is all impassable until like right here. You can only cross right here. So that makes it a very interesting, narrow kind of battlefield. Ooh. Cavalry charge. Oh, the whole front row gets mowed down, but they crash in. And that will decimate, maybe even shatter. Yep, shattered that unit. So this Hussar unit took heavy casualties, but they destroyed that light infantry. Prussian artillery. Ooh, and some thick French lines here, pressing forward. And there's really not much. The Prussians are just arriving, but there's a sizable gap in this spot here. Looks like this Dutch army is just playing pretty defensive, which makes sense. They've got 2 points into their control. More Frenchmen moving forward. Yikes, there's been some nasty artillery here. Brutal. He's got it protected by some heavy cav and light cav. Infantry is now moving up. That's a scary thing right here. These 6-pounders are a pain to deal with. Got some cavalry of Madrid taking on some hussars. Ooh, cavalry of Madrid loses. That's surprising. But they're a smaller unit, so they're... Oh, and they're gonna shatter. Yikes. There's a lot of Dutch cav now. Means this Dutch force looks like it was considering a wide flanking movement, but I wonder if it's passable right here. This looks like it could be. That water's not very deep, but and now we got some Spanish troops holding down the left flank. They're advancing pretty far. Now, if I was to look at this map as a Franco-Spanish alliance, I wouldn't even go for this. Right? Just give that to the enemy. They've already got a pretty good control base there. I would solidify the two French armies here, like one facing forward, one facing the side, and then the Spanish army defend this river. Because defending that, just that small area gets you this point. I think there's another point up here. No, this point, and these two, which is the majority that you need to win. So, but they're playing aggressive, and I never fault an aggressive play. Never. French cav. This reminds me of Gettysburg, the orchard. Was that it on the second day when what's his name moves forward without orders and takes slightly higher ground, but it makes him exposed? Like this unit, these units are so separate from everything else. Although these are now advancing to put pressure, but this is a killing zone. Oh, with the howitzer. That's dangerous. Dangerous. Lancer Guard taking on some Russians. Ooh. Getting lag every once in a while. I think it's from running OBS while the battle, because I watched a part of this replay already and we had no lag. So pretty good line battle so far. Oh, and this battle does have a 90-minute timer on it, so it's whoever controls this point at the end of the 90-minute timer. Ooh, this is danger close here. These guys gonna shoot. Oh, here they go. Yep. And that's a pretty good volley right there. Let's see if the Frenchmen return it. Ooh, we got another set off. Come on. Come on, Frenchmen. Fire. Yeah, pretty good volley. Ooh, but they're getting flanked now. There's lots of cav on that flank. Ooh. Might have got some friendly fire from that general's bodyguard. But now they're going in. That unit's probably going to struggle to form square because of all the buildings. That's cool. Okay. Wait till one of these guys is ready to shoot. Or maybe we'll do one right now. Oh, here we go. Oh, come on, don't have a misfire. Shoot. Yeah. I don't know if I got that on the right time. Oh, but France, man, is pushing hard. Republican infantry, and man, we have a general engagement. Look at this. Not a ton of fighting going on here, but Spain pushing hard to take this little farmhouse on the hill. But this is a massive Dutch force on his flank. Russia's looks like pushing some militia forward. Get back to the left flank action there. It looks like some Dutch troops were broken by French cav, and now French infantry is charging in. Oh, point blank volley. Drops a number of them, but they close the range. to need their allies to close the range quickly. Here comes some grenadiers. Oh, but these are some pretty good Dutch troops. There are no slackers here. Man, the Republican infantry are already wavering and break. But here come the conscripts. Now, I don't know if I'd be throwing in conscripts in melee, but... Oh, and he has a lot of there's a lot of Dutch infantry here. Although he might be losing this one, yeah. Oh. Artillery going in. Oh, point blank volleys. Oh, and looks like some Dutch dragoons making a charge on these Republican infantry. See, further down the line, we got some more squares. This artillery is just holding the deck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. At least 8 French infantry. Oh, and the Prussians are pushing forward. The Spanish guards of Naples holding for quite some time, but now they're trying to fall them back. This infantry was holding fire. Now they're firing at will, but I don't know if they're going to get their shots off. Oh, and they don't. That's a bummer. Oh, they get some. They get some. Russia, though, is going for the melee attack. See how that works so far, although they have so many allies here. If this Dutch army pushes, they could capture some of these back ones, and that would put a lot of pressure on the Franco-Spanish alliance. Looks like France's attack here on the edge has been beaten back, and now the Dutch are counterattacking with some, what are these, dragoons here? Don't know how well they'll do, but it's enough to at least stall the French push on these victory points. Oh, more dragoons. Oh, but they break. They're having enough of that. Oops. Grenadiers, French grenadiers going in now. This is kind of an unstable flank. Ooh, big cav movement on those grenadiers too. Wow, there's a lot. Oops, didn't mean to punch the microphone. There's a lot of Dutch infantry here trying to turn this flank though. That dragoon unit, man, got all the way down to 12 troops before it shattered. Ooh, another French assault in the center happening. It's not looking like it's making a ton of success though. Some heavy, short, close-range casualties. On the Spanish front, some routing Spanish there. It looks like Spain is falling back. Ooh, they did get some good kills on Prussia here. Prussia probably took the worst of this engagement overall, but they forced Spain back, which is a win. It's always a win. Oh, and they killed their guns. They were only 3-pounders, so I guess they're not the most important things in the world, but ooh, they have strayed into range of canister, and that's hurting. Meanwhile, the Dutch still trying to annihilate this French flank. You got some Dutch grenadiers versus French grenadiers in square. Some Dutch general's bodyguard trying to cause some damage as well. And now the Dutch infantry moving forward. Ooh, that's scary artillery shot. If that goes through the square, that's going to be brutal friendly fire. It's like the Dutch tried to counter push right here, and or maybe considering that might not be the best idea. Oof. These French grenadiers are getting shot in the back, though. Oh, there they go. They're charging in now. Russian guards are helping support. Oh, this is some thick Russian lines. But, oh, and the Dutch are making a push, and the Spanish did have enough troops. I wasn't sure how big their army was. They got some cav over there. Ooh, some heavy cav. Gets a charge off into this infantry. Only losing one guy because they weren't able to form square in time. That's the thing about hollow squares is hollow squares, you still take casualties when cav charges you, but you kill a lot of the cav as they charge. Got sharpshooters, lines, and just look at all that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more lines in reserve. This is a dangerous flank. Look at all the carnage around this farmhouse. Recheck out the southern flank, and it looks like France down here, one of the French armies, is abandoning this flank. Well, not abandoning, but has been forced back. Ooh, good artillery hits. Ooh, some more good artillery hits. So France is falling back probably to their guns. Means these points are pretty secure. Right now, the Franco-Spanish alliance will still win. Oof. Look at that casualty count. These guns here are a problem. But right now, the Franco-Spanish alliance still wins because they got 2 points and then 1 point and 1 point. But this flank is also getting pushed pretty hard. Looks like the French are gonna pull back to defend the town. Probably a smart idea with this flank pretty collapsed. Although these French seem to be pulling around the guns. It might be worthwhile to limber up these guns, pull them back to maybe this hill, and defend that big open field there from that hill. And then, yeah. The left flank is heavily engaged and is now withdrawing, it appears. Maybe going to the second river. This is just a smaller river branch, so this will be maybe the primary line of defense. Ooh, and they're running them back. Gonna lose some cohesion. Wonder where the Spanish artillery is. Oh no, they moved it forward with that 3-pounder, that's right. Nice smoke over the battlefield as the troops advance. It's very scenic. Yes. Oh, yeah, I'll turn this way. I think in future updates I need to reduce the shrapnel shot a little bit more, because right now it's still way too overpowered. So we got a a Dutch infantry force flanking around. While the Spanish and French fall back behind the river, and the Dutch prepare to make the next level of assault. Although they could probably sneak some troops out here and capture these points. And that's, or at least this one. That's dangerous for the Franco-Spanish alliance. I'm surprised neither French batteries tried to counter battery these guys. That might have been worthwhile, because these Prussian guns, I'm sure, had a ton of kills by the end. At least it seems like it. This howitzer down to 2 guns, but I think only this one fires. So I think they counter batteried that one, but oof, that's a big bloody battle. Oh, and this dude's just like, nah, it's gonna stand on my dead horse. I'm done. That's a haunted face right there. The things this man has seen. Yikes. Sorry, poor man, your horse died. Alright. Dude, we got farmhouse there. It's already at 30. Ooh. Russian cavalry charge shatters some Spanish infantry. That's a bummer. For Spain. Like Spain is realizing this flank is a danger. Sharpshooters moving up. So much infantry. Yikes. I just get a distinct impression that the French and Spanish were outnumbered. I'm not sure if that is true. I think it is, actually, but this feels like a hold on for dear life kind of a situation. Alright, these are still some pretty solid French lines. Got some riflemen. So this is a pretty solid defensive spot right here. This looks very hard to assault, and Prussia did a lot of assaulting on the Spanish here. So really what I would be worried about is this Spanish flank. Let's just look at that. That's some hefty lines and so many reserves. Let's check out the other end of the battlefield. Some slow advancing. Looks like they're nothing too crazy. Maybe a bit of an artillery duel. But everybody's catching their breath from that very intense early engagement. Russia may even be trying to destroy this house with the invisible sharpshooters. Meanwhile, the Spanish and Dutch duke it out across the stream. Some pretty close range combat. These guys aren't firing. These guys are. Lots of cavalry, heavy cavalry, medium cav, move into the flank. Medium cav again. Field Marshal. Dutch 6-pounder guns moving towards the center. It looks like they're trying to destroy this farmhouse, which does kill the people inside, so you can do that. It still is a capture point. You just gotta have it behind your front lines, or in line with your front line, to consider it captured. Ooh, the Dutch have pushed a lot of infantry way around the flank. French are responding to that. Just some disorganized lines. The OCD part of me is just group them up and select them all and draw a line, but that's okay. But now the fighting has shifted to be heavier on this end. Volley. Ooh, Spain. Spain has taken some heavy losses. The Dutch here are getting whittled down, but I think just the sheer weight of numbers is in their advantage. So, and this is looking particularly weak. If I was the Dutch with all this reserves here, I might just charge all three of this on that one and march these guys forward. See if I can't isolate these guys and make a push on that point there. Because these Prussians are just going to get chewed up by this artillery and pretty solid infantry by France still there, so. Alright, the French are making a little last stand around this hill. They are, yikes, severely outnumbered. Do a little. Yeah, I don't think Prussia can win this position, but Spain is getting pushed back more and more because they got double teamed at the start, and now, or they got hit by a lot of Prussians at the start, and now they're getting attacked by a fresh Dutch force. So Spain is really having a rough time of it. So if I was the Dutch here, I would just be pushing this gap right here. If you can drive along this little stream, separate these remaining units, and then strike for the kill with all your remaining troops here, that might be good. Looks like they're kind of doing that. Probably just not as aggressive as I would have been, but that's okay. I'm not the best player in the world, so. I liked Prussia's aggression at the start, and if I was them now, yeah. Oh, they managed to kill the artillery. Wow, that's a win. That's a good time then to push in right here. But I don't know how many reserves Prussia has, so. Yeah, Prussia's doing a pretty good job. Just keeping these French from being able to reinforce Spain. And this, I would say Prussia primarily focuses down the French and Spanish here, while the Dutch try and clean up this flank. You make a breakthrough here and you can, yeah, you've won the battle. I mean, it's already looking like a pretty convincing Dutch victory. I don't know how much time is left. The field marshal of this French army is now in the fray as well, trying to stem the Dutch onslaught. Looks like they're pulling back to the town. French grenadiers taking on last little bit of Prussian hussars. Oh, and Raphael's field marshal down, and so this French flank, I think, is in retreat. Ooh, interesting. They're doing a bit of a countercharge here. They're running right past each other. This is a good. Okay, yeah, that was a good charge on this flank. That might cause a rout. Although there is a general's bodyguard here, which, yeah, can also boost these guys and do this to your. Oh. You're charging infantry. This little orchard is just a brutal place to fight now. Man, French morale has been breaking a lot. That's not a good sign. That flank has collapsed. Spanish? Oh, Spanish cav battle here. And the Spanish cav winning decisively. Routing some sharpshooters. Cuirassier Guard are there though, holding that down, sending in some infantry. But that was a good play by Spain. You couldn't do much better than that. And I know you ended up losing some heavy cav, but yeah, I don't know what else you could have done at this point. Close range fighting in the orchard. Oh, and Snake's general, I think that's the Prussians. Oh, maybe, I don't know. I thought Snake was playing as the Prussians, but maybe not. Maybe he was the other French army, because it looks like France has collapsed. Alright, Prussia did fail at this spot. It looks like Prussia is going to struggle in the north part of town, but they've taken the victory point for the most part. Oh. And I think these grenadiers will hold on there. The Dutch are also pushing from the flank. I'm really impressed with Spain kind of holding and onto this point as long as they have. Oh, I got maybe a glitching unit there, but I thought the Dutch were just going to crash through this on this flank. But they managed to hold it fairly well. If I was France, though, and Spain at this point, you know you're not going to win. I would just try and keep your troops intact and march backwards until the time ran out. I would just cede the battlefield, because it's doubtful you're going to win, and you just want to keep your troops intact. They did manage to kill those guys, but oh, the artillery is now set up. This could be deadly. Where is that? Yep, there it goes. See if they can get a hit off. More French grenadiers. These French grenadiers trying to just close the distance. Guy got shot. These are elite lifeguards from Prussia. Yeah, I don't know. France. Just give up the town, France. You're not going to hold it. French grenadiers. Oof. think the Grenadiers are winning there. Ooh, these ones are taking a beating from the charge, though. And that's gonna cause some fear to spread. Yep. Big melee going on here. French and Dutch duking it out. Some provincial cav in the background. Oh. And that looks like it'll be enough to break the French, the Spanish. Oh, they're getting surrounded. That's a cool shot. Spanish holding on to this victory point at all costs, and the cost is great indeed. Oh, and the Spanish field marshal is killed. That's gonna cause some morale issues. These elite infantry are hanging on, but looks like that's about it. One more French. Oh, they missed. Ah, and they break. Yikes. And I think that's a complete victory for the Dutch and their allies. And there it is. So let's see. I think I took the replay from Clutch. So that's who this Dutch army was. Let's see how his kills were. Yeah, pretty good. Nothing too crazy, but pretty positive across the board. Except for this unit. These sharpshooters. Oh, the cav charge. Let's see who lost the most. Pretty even. Sharpshooters didn't do well, but that's okay. That line infantry got hit hard, but yeah, pretty good overall. But yeah, just a great campaign battle, which means the French and Spanish will fall back into Spanish, what is that, Brussels? And that'll be it for the Northern Theater. I think there's one more battle to play before the next turn. So with that said, thank you guys for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you on the next one. Until then, have a good one. Bye.